Early 2020 and these almost sci-fi scenes were playing out across our screens.
A coronavirus outbreak in China.
Declaring a national emergency.
Characterized as a pandemic.
A pandemic unfolding in real time. It was foreign and it was frightening. But 18 months on, we've learned a lot about how we treat COVID. And no, I'm not talking about
disinfectant.
The use of hydroxychloroquine and or ivermectin.
I'm taking it, hydroxychloroquine.
Hydroxychloroquine works.
We've seen so much about COVID-19 treatments, from the horse paste ivermectin, which is really only rarely used in humans for parasitic diseases and doesn't have any effect on helping with COVID-19, all the way through to some really effective treatments like the steroid dexamethasone.
Right now, hospitals around the country are overwhelmed, including in states that don't yet have COVID running wild. And with cases set to surge, there's a treatment that's keeping young, unvaccinated people out of ICU. It's called Sotrovimab, a monoclonal antibody therapy. The drug works by binding itself to the spike protein of the virus, neutralising it to stop it from replicating. A single dose is administered intravenously and can reduce hospitalisation and death by 79%.
It's particularly likely to help those who are at risk of progressing to very serious illness.
The TGA approved the drug last month and the impact's showing. In the ACT, 13 patients were given Sotrovimab. None was hospitalised.
We've watched a number of these patients quite closely, and they really haven't deteriorated to the degree that we would have previously experienced without the use of this drug.
Sotrovimab is only for people who haven't had the chance to be vaccinated, because really what it's doing is shining a light on COVID-19 for the immune system to see it early on in the disease, and it has almost the same effect as vaccination in reducing the number of people that go to intensive care.
Around the world, antibody therapies are being used to fight COVID. Former US President Donald Trump credits Regeneron for his recovery last year.
It was like unbelievable. I felt good immediately.
These antibodies have been designed in the laboratory to directly target the SARS-CoV-2, the spike protein, and they've now been shown in numerous studies to really reduce the risk of hospitalisation for someone who is treated early on in their disease phase.
These treatments join other measures doctors use every day to treat patients with severe infection.
Some of the newer treatments like baricitinib and tocilizumab, these are drugs that are designed to switch off the inflammatory response so the lungs don't get so damaged. And the combination of all these treatments together, underpinned by dexamethasone, is really what's helping patients who are getting crook with COVID-19.
And in the near future, we may be able simply to pop a pill to treat COVID. Pfizer is in the late stages of testing an antiviral tablet for adults not at risk of severe illness. And a second company, MERCK, is in clinical trials of a preventative drug, molnupiravir.
They'd be a great advance if we could have them, because things like the monoclonal antibodies need to be given by injection, and it'd be much easier if we could give them orally.
It's not a substitute for vaccination. That's a really important thing. Vaccination is the silver bullet, but it's great to see that that research is continuing to enable us to, live with COVID-19, because it's going to be around for a while.
It's fascinating.
It is, yeah.
It's so exciting too, and promising. Hope. That's what we all need.
Yeah,
Hope.
and we've got so many avenues to do with it. And it doesn't undo the need for vaccination at all. That is not at all what's being said, but just to have those layers. I can provide Nick Coatsworth, who you saw in that package, you might remember as the Deputy Chief Health Officer, Medical Officer. He has given us an exclusive that the government is currently in advanced negotiations with Pfizer and two other big pharmaceutical companies, Roche and MSD, on 3 antibody treatments. So these would be intravenous.
Are you going to name them for us, Willie? Because they're easy names to say.
It was fun to voice that package. I very much enjoyed voicing that package. But so this would be intravenous, and this would stop people who get sick from worsening symptoms and needing hospitalisation. And the big thing that does is it also takes pressure off the health system so that it frees up beds for people. So really, really great news, I think.
Right. Remember when we didn't know anything about this at all and we were all wondering whether we can get a vaccine, and look at where we are now.
I know.
Unbelievable.
Great. And also, can we stop taking crap that doesn't help, like ivermectin?
Yes.
Well, the manufacturers of ivermectin came out and said, this is not help with COVID, don't do it.
When they say stop taking our products,
I
think you listen. From expert opinions to in-depth analysis and reporting, the Project YouTube brings you the biggest stories from Australia and around the globe. Hit the subscribe button now for news delivered straight to your feed.